Moving our way. Little Rock, Arkansas. They got a little snow, a little slush, a little bit of rain. Oh boy, people there had to wake up a little earlier to scrape all the ice off the cars. The governor of Arkansas has declared a state of emergency. Let's go a little closer to home and go over to Gastonia. There's Brigida Mack out in her beautiful red coat, but all the flakes are falling. How's it looking, Brigida?
Well, Paul, it has really picked up here within the last 20 minutes. I would say when we first got here, you could barely see it, but now definitely coming down. It's not quite sticking on the roads yet, but it is accumulating on the landscape. I can see it here on the grass, on shrubs, that sort of thing. Folks still moving along Franklin Boulevard where we are at a pretty good clip. I imagine that will change as the temperature continues to drop, but that's how things are here in Gastonia where we are live. Back to you.
I can tell you one place that always gets the snow. That's up in Hickory. Let's go there right now. Some live pictures. Thank you, Brigida, because you know it's going to get it there, but they're talking about 8 inches. That's a lot of snow for that area.
Yeah, they're used to having some snow, but 8 inches at once could be a real headache. We're looking at these live pictures, people making their way home. Kelly Franson, you've been tracking this system all day long as it moves into the area. It has arrived.
It has arrived a little ahead of schedule, but otherwise pretty much right on target with where we're seeing the rain-snow line. You can see that on the radar here, pretty much right along I-85 at the end of this loop. By the way, about an hour ago, the DOT people were reporting temperatures on the roadways of 85 about 40 degrees, a little bit cooler than that for other interstates. As Brigida said, not sticking to the roadways yet, but it will eventually be sticking to those roadways. We had a report of Cherryville of an inch there on grassy surfaces, also about an inch in Vail, and a report from Boone, an inch and a half in the high country right now. You saw that initial rain showing up on the radar. If you were outside this afternoon, you're thinking, I never saw any rain. Well, that's because it evaporated before it hit the ground, but that evaporation cooled the air to allow that snow to survive once we got that switch over. How much did we cool the air? Well, 3 hours ago we were at 44 in Charlotte. Now we're at 34, so that's a very dramatic drop in temperatures for two reasons. One was the evaporation. The second reason, cool winds. They've been coming from the east and northeast throughout the day, continuing to pull cooler air into the region. So what does the rest of this storm look like? Well, let me take you through step by step for the metro area. Falling temperatures, that's going to continue to be a trend throughout the evening. And of course, as we continue to see those temperatures fall and ground temperatures fall, eventually it will be sticking on the roadways. Overnight, almost all snow from Charlotte on north. Once you get south of Charlotte, that's where we run into a mix. We'll talk more about that when we get to the actual forecast total map. Charlotte, not going to stay snow for this entire event, though. Early Saturday morning, we're talking likely 6 or 7 a.m. I expect sleet to start to mix in. Some of us could see our highest snow totals early tomorrow morning and then watch that sleet actually compress things a little bit. Now, right now, I'm going to show you temperatures from around the region. If you're east of Charlotte, you haven't cooled down much yet. 42 for Monroe, 43 for Wadesboro, 41 for both Albemarle and Concord, 39 now in Salisbury. Just got a report of snow falling there. Statesville checking in at 36, Hickory now 34, Shelby down to 31, Morganton right at the freezing point of 32. Up into the mountains, Boone, I told you, an inch and a half there already, 28 degrees, Asheville checking in at 30. Now, of course, the clouds thickened up early this afternoon. Here's another look at the radar as that system moves in, and this is a pretty good estimate of where I expect the rain-snow line to stay overnight. We'll likely drop it just a little bit overnight before we start to push it back up and mix that sleet in for tomorrow. So here's what you all want to see, the latest forecast total map. We'll take you in closer. We've been saying 8 inches around Hickory. That might actually be a little conservative. Somewhere in here, I expect a pretty good pocket of 10 to 12 inches. Now you get south of I-40, a good solid 4 to 8 inches of mostly snow with just a little sleet on top of that for tomorrow. From South Lake Norman down to Center City, 2 to 5 inches of a snow-sleet mixture. And then as you get from Tega Cay on south, that's where we're looking for 1 to 3 inches of more sleet. Temperatures should start the day at about 30, be into the low 20s tomorrow afternoon with sleet, probably the primary precipitation type. Just not expected to be very heavy tomorrow, and then it looks like we've got a very cold week ahead of us.
And everybody, you can make sure you join us tomorrow morning beginning at